what I wanted to do was we have the 7th and then the 17th here as far as the log notes. What the question was is when I search this, how can I flip it so that the old ones are on top? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically go like this. Advanced client search. I'm going to scroll down to the log portion, which is right here. So this one actually has 3 different steps, okay? I have searching the main clients, I can search any of the logs, or I can search the additional contacts. This is from the advanced search. So if I want to flip-flop this thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be on the log section. So this entire section, until I get to the next dark bar, is just the piece that I'm working with. What we wanted to see is we wanted to see all of the log notes. So currently my sort by is by just generic, which basically will probably put it by a log date. I'm just going to say search this. I'm going to actually open it up so it's not grouped. Search all of my log notes. Santiago wanted to know how in the world can I get this 771 at the top instead of my 717. Okay, we literally can go like this. It's basically right here, and we basically go like this. Put the oldest first, please. Click. 77's at the top.
Where'd you click on to get?
All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yep. We basically let me show you where we get to this. Okay, from any page, whether you're on a CRM page or you're actually on a classic home page, what we do is this is the standard piece of Adilas. You have the main home page wherever you're starting, whatever your home page is, and then you bounce out to sub home pages. From the sub home pages, we have a link to the advanced search from there. Okay. So watch this. I'm on a main homepage. We're going to bounce to the sub homepage, which will be customer or client homepage. Okay. From here, I'm now on the client homepage. I now need to look for the advanced link. Okay, the advanced search.
You could also enter the advanced. So
ADV in the quick search. Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Once I'm here, now I'm at the advanced search. Okay. I have 3 different searches here. Once again, every page has a little help file. But it's like, this is what Santiago was like, hey, I just want my email and my first name. Go get it, export it to Excel. Okay? This is the main client information. This was the log piece that we just showed you how I was flip-flopping that date range. Okay? Putting the last one first. Once you learn where your pieces are stored, you can play fun. Let's just go to a totally different page just for a second.
Hold on.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Watch this. I'm going to get back there the same way, ADV. I heard somebody say, why don't you just use the quick search? I'm back at the advanced search.
So is there a way to change the default check buttons there?
Okay, that is a wonderful question. The answer is no. And once again, this is also written down. But imagine if we were to allow you to save any of your settings inside of Adilas. So there's tons of reports, okay? What if we were like, Dan likes to see it this way. Let's save that specific to Dan. Or have an administrator say, Dan, I want you to look at it this way when you go there. Like, huge power there, okay? It's inline kind of custom code and setting. Like, we have some great ideas, and we could literally, if we have 1,000 pages and we added that little piece to be able to save those settings, we have those 1,000 pieces that you could tweak to any sort of level. And then as soon as you even click a button, it automatically knew your settings, it knew your everything. So one of the reasons Santiago doesn't like that is because every single time he wants to flip that thing around, he has to go, and we have just the default settings, and so it's like, oh, I forgot. All I had to do is just change that one field, but that's one extra step. So where we want to go with that is actually save those to your settings.
Is that going to be something that's going to be implemented pretty soon?
Okay. I love this, and I hope you're okay if I share this because this is literally where Adilas is and where it's going. Watch this. Under Chooser, there's one called My Favorites. Imagine if Santiago, like right now we just put a bunch of general buttons on there, and I don't have all my permissions turned on, but imagine if you could actually go like this. Say you got to a page and you're like, oh, sweet, this is exactly how I want it. Don't change it. And you said, save this to My Favorites. I want to call it this. And we already knew your links and your settings and who you are. All of a sudden, we let you dynamically create your own button. And so instead of the same way that we have the My Cart Favorites where you can create those buttons that are pre-coded for the parts and searching them, imagine if you could pre-code a page or a setting on a report. And just like, I need this button, and I need it to call reverse logs or whatever you wanted to call it. All of a sudden, it knew your settings. It already knew to not include the not interested. It already knew to include your hot. It already knew to flip the date from normal to reverse it, like oldest first. All of a sudden, Santiago clicks on one button, he goes right to the page that he wants. Like, there's huge power there, and it kind of just comes back just to time and development. Like, it's not a big deal at all. Like, as far as to develop that, the problem is just taking that amount of time. That's easy, a month, 2 months for a project type thing, but it's not impossible, not anything. But that's where we like to play. So.
And that's kind of something else I love to tell all my clients is put your ideas in there. Everybody, has an idea about how Atlas can work better. And if you guys let us know, Brandon will put it on his to-do list, and depending on where he's at.
As Atlas grows, and I'm not trying to make a prophecy here type thing, but like so far I've primarily been one of the main technicians on it. We will need additional help. And it'll keep growing and growing, but it'll be neat. And what we're also going to try to do is put the power in your hands. So if you know how to play, imagine if you could custom skin this thing all by yourself. Okay? Here's the engine. What kind of frame do you want on this thing? You want leather seats and a decked out CD, or you want fuzzy dice and a little car rack? Like, it just doesn't matter. You're still riding on an Atlas engine that's inline, custom code, all kinds of cool stuff. Settings and permissions, and we can play games. We can play lots of games. Okay?
This homepage looks like an iPad-friendly big button.
This is definitely a touchscreen type interface, and all I have to do is watch this. Chooser, set this as my default. Now, anytime I go home, guess where I'm going to land? It also even shows you which permissions you have. See how there's some stuff that's grayed out right here?
You can't click it. Yeah.
I don't have anything on elements of time right now.
That's helpful.
Do you want me to actually show you how I could turn those buttons on and how they would automatically turn on?
Well, that's back into the long permission.
Absolutely, it's back into permissions, and basically you can tell which pieces of the puzzle you have turned on and which ones you don't. Okay, so like I don't have any stuff in deposits other than this is actually payments not yet deposited. That's part of my receivables, so that's why those two permissions are turned on. Okay, so like it's this is a cool little feature. It was just a little, hey, we got to put this out there. I'm going to give you a little bit of history. These custom interfaces. And Santiago has his, and Dan had his, and we've been playing with the Classic, and over here, we introduced this 6 or 7 months ago. That's it. Like, things just keep developing and developing and developing, but it creates potential. So what Adilas really has is we have a ton of potential. If I had my way, I would keep building it out until it was picture perfect, but guess what? We don't have that opportunity anymore. It's already kind of been let out of the bag that, hey, wow, they're developing a pretty cool little piece of software. Okay, cool, let's play. I'm willing to let it kind of get out there more, even though it's not technically done to where I would call it done. It's just incredibly powerful.
It'll never be done.
It
Because
won't.
You'll come to a new customer and he has a different idea.
Joe, we're kind of getting to that point, and that's actually a perfect piece. And so it literally is a little bit of a mindset to be like, okay, you know what, we'll play. So thank you. Okay, cool. Let's do another challenge. He just wanted me to flip-flop some dates, and that was easy. I added a new log.
Okay, I got one.
Okay, awesome.
I've got a big receivable for those gold tennis balls.
Okay.
And I want you to send a statement at the end of August
Okay.
that I must have payment.
Okay.
Or
Perfect.
maybe send it at the middle of August and I need payment by the end of August.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I have to make sure I have the receivables homepage and probably the statement homepage. Let's just scroll down to invoices and see if I have statements turned on. Oh, I don't have statements turned on, okay? So what I'm going to do immediately is I'm going to say, you know what, I need to actually go in and pays and permissions. This is just another way to get to the same page that we got to from the Classic, okay? Are you okay if I stay on this particular interface with the buttons, or do you want me to go back to the Classic homepage?
No, I got it right there too. So I'll just
Cool. So I'm going to click on my name. We're dealing with customers and statements and stuff, okay? So what I'm going to do is I know that a statement is probably an asset, meaning we got some sort of monies coming in. I'm going to scroll down a little wise. Okay, basic statements. I'm going to click on that little permission. I have my receivables turned on. I'm probably going to turn on my admin receivables as well, because I'm really starting to like, hey, I'm dealing with pieces. Yes?
You know what might be helpful on this long scroll is if you numbered them like you did with all of your remember your initial world field,
Mhm.
everything was numbered from 1 to 68. Because I already got lost where you are
Okay.
on the.
But what you said the other day when I asked the same question is, there are, if you go to the top.
Oh, right. So
There are
There's the
fields,
quick
kind of
links. Yep, there are some
things
quick
that will
dropping.
take you to where-
Basically, I knew that it was going to be in system assets.
Assets,
So
very good.
I dropped to assets, and then I started scrolling down,
Okay.
just quickly looking for it.
I see how you can do it that way.
But good call, good call. So I turned on a couple pieces. If we're going to do statements, one, you need to have the statement permission, and two, the receivables portion. In my mind, this is how I like to get to statements because I know that there's some shortcuts. Okay, so this is how I would play the game. I'm going to do those two. I'm going to get to the bottom of the page, submit that. And now if I go home, I should actually have my statement permission turned on. It's like my internet's just choking for a second. Okay, so I'm going to go home, and I'm going to scroll down on this left-hand side till I find invoices, and I now have the statement button is active. Okay, I'm like, yeehaw. So do you want to build a statement just raw, or do you want to go from the receivables homepage? It doesn't make a bit of difference. They end up in the same spot. It just kind of depends on where are you entering in on this thing. You want to see it from a raw, nothing's selected? Or do you want to see it from, hey, I already know the customer and I already see how much they owe me, and then I'm going to build a statement from there? What do you think?
Well, we have the invoice, so.
Okay, watch this. I'm going to go to receivables homepage, okay? Receivables homepage. Looks like Clowns R Us, and it looks like somebody paid off that huge big one. Okay. I would actually have to go to his log and look for what else he had. But
Oh, it
currently,
might have been another, it was a counter sale or something.
oh, is it a counter sale?
Yeah, it
Okay,
was.
so a counter sale, that's really hard to do a statement because guess what? We're missing a piece, aren't we?
Client.
Yeah. So we could actually technically go back and assign that. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Why don't we find your invoice? Let's go to invoice homepage, and we know that we have this honking one out there that's for thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, was it this $26,000 one?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it is Clowns R Us, but let's see what we have going on here. Let's click on Edit. 0 on account. Clowns R Us. I'm wondering how many Clowns R Us we have. Do we have multiple ones or just one of those?
I thought it was more like 46,000.
Let's do this. Let's go log. Inside of Clowns R Us, I'm going to say all invoices year to date. Let's see if it was actually assigned to it. Okay.
No, the gold balls are more expensive than that.
They were more than that?
Yeah, unless we made a partial payment, but.
Was that just maybe a quote that you started with?
That's the goal.
Possibly. Say gold balls.
The goal.
Okay, so that was it. Well, then we must have just done a payment on that.
Okay. I don't see any
Oh,
payment.
it's on account.
Yeah, so technically that should show up in our receivables, okay? So I'm just going to go right here to the client log. Here's our receivables basically for this particular person. And so what I'm going to actually do is just kind of looking at some of my links really quick. I'm going to go ahead and actually click on that. Okay, hey, what do we owe? Okay, and then if I wanted to, I could actually say, let's go to receivables homepage. I'm not sure why it's not showing up on that, unless I have a specific location. Aha, here's my problem. Now it will show up better. We have tons of locations.
Right.
And so now Clowns R Us is this. Here's how I would like to do a statement for them if I really wanted to. It would be really easy. I was like, why isn't that showing up? But it was due to a location filter that was on the search criteria. Statements, okay? So I don't have any statements for this one. I'm going to say create a new statement. It's still remembered that I was under Clowns R Us, and I'm going to put in a date range. Let's go from 7/1 and clear up to 7/31. How about that? So it'll grab everything in that date range. Build the statement. So I'm now currently in the Add Edit Statement page. I've tied it to Clowns R Us. Here's the different things. If I wanted to actually push this thing forward, I could say, hey, I'm actually going to predate this one, so it's 7/31. Due date, when do you want this thing due by?
I need the money by the end of August.
Okay, so we're going to 8/31. Okay, payment terms, so they're on net 30. And whatever you wanted to do, right? It's a
Rocco
little-
will be visiting on.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I like that. So you can actually tell it, show or hide some of your different little things, and then it's basically going to kind of build your statement. As soon as I say add, if I'm cool with everything that it's got right there, I just say add the statement. Here is technically the little statement that I could basically print, save it as a PDF. I could mail it out. It says, hey, you owe me for 2 invoices. Here's their ages. I'm not sure why it has age 15 and 15. Oh, I'll tell you why. It's because the date of the,
Yeah, you put the statement date as.
7/1. It's probably doing from what date to what date, kind of creating the age or whatever on that. Anyway, that just kind of threw me off right there. I was like, whoa, what's that doing? But anyway, here's a statement I can now do it for. If I go to my statement homepage, I now have, let me just do some show height search criteria. I actually predated this one clear out a ways. 731, go get it. Okay, clowns are us for this much. I can get right back to it. I can edit it. I can do whatever. It's virtually just a snapshot in time type thing. Did that answer your question, Joe, or do you want me to do it again? Or we were kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I guess, well, what's the statement? Now I can't find it from the client
Okay,
page.
so you can. Let's actually go
Right.
to that particular client, CLOW, clown.
Mhm.
We'll go to the log,
Okay, log is where you go.
Yep. and I'm looking for a link. Current receivables. I was thinking that there was a link up here in the
All
top.
statements year to
I'll
date.
say it's today.
Oh, it's way over here. No wonder I didn't see it. Okay, basically I could just pop right in here. Once again, it's got my little, just needs to be pushed out a little further because it's basically, it doesn't really even exist yet because it's as a 7/31 date. But the year to date pulled in today's date to the first of the year, so we predated the thing. So, we pushed it out into the future. But anyway, you could actually date it at 7/17, but due by 8/31, and it'll be fine. Just depends on
I see.
what's your. So let's actually change this. Watch this. I'll hit edit, and we'll actually change this date. I'll leave this front end, but I'll change this one back to today's date of the 17th, and then I'll say edit that statement. Now if I go back to that same Clowns R Us, so I should be able to find it right here, client log, all statements year to date, it'll pull it in because it found that date.
Okay,
But we had kind of pushed it way out in the future.
I see.
Okay, that was a great question. We haven't really talked about statements. Let's go from the very, very home page. Who do we actually have that owes us money? I'm going to come down to the invoices and find receivables. And once again, it's trying to think that I'm just in a certain area. So I'm just going to kind of expand that. We have Myrtle and Paco Tacos and Danny Schufer that owes us. So these are businesses and an individual. Danny owes us $1,000. Should we make a statement for him? Okay. Well, basically, you can make statements from whoever you want to, okay? You can either go right to this link. This is from the receivables homepage. This is where I would kind of recommend you going from because you already see like the breakdown of what's going on for that person. Or if you wanted to, you literally could go right here from home and go down to invoices, find statements, and say create a new statement. It'll be like, okay, who? And you just go like this. Danny, yep, that's him. Build the statement. What's your date range you want to do for him? Like, see how it kind of walks you through these little steps? It'll walk you right through that. Russell, yes.
I was going to say, can you put a timer on the, eventually with your new, the new state developments of time, can you put a timer on this to say, I want this, the payment's due by this date, but I want to be reminded of it 3 days or a week before so I can call him and just remind him. And
No, you're going to have to manually kind of check some of that stuff out right now. But eventually, if you wanted to create your own reminder, like, hey, go check, go build your statements, you can create yourself a reminder, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, I needed to go in and do that. It depends on who's in the business, who's involved, what their permissions are. Like, we're going to kind of push that on your side, saying, okay, if you want that, go modify it. And I could actually show you how we could do that, but like basically creating a little tickler, if you will, for our calendar. But
You can do it, yeah, in your follow-ups to your client.
Sure,
Your client, you say, oh, Danny owes us $1,000. I need to call him on this date and remind him.
if you put it in, we can get it back to you. You just have to know where you put it in, because if you just put it randomly in the system, then how are you going to find it? Okay. But once you physically figure out what your methodology is, then you'll be good to go on that. Okay, so basically I was building a simple statement for Danny. You saw how I was walking through the steps. Create a new one. If I didn't start with the customer, it asked me who the customer is, and then I kind of progressed from there, and I could click and choose. And so Danny's actually paid for a whole bunch of them. Maybe we didn't want to show all of these. We could literally start, deselecting them, and it'll alter what's going to end up being on the statement. Okay, because we actually made a whole bunch of invoices for you. You just happen to pay them all through either Visas or cashes or whatever. So. Anyway, just wanted to kind of show you briefly into statements, but it is tied to customers. Okay, what's another challenge or a question? Let's see here. Debbie, why don't you give me a challenge for a customer-related piece?
Well, I was back to my favorite topic, the buttons.
Okay.
The calendar. I was thinking we could create a button that just says follow-ups, and you could open your home page and just push the button and have the follow-ups that you needed. Is that
Okay.
something you can do?
If you put them into the follow-ups, you can literally just say, what are my follow-ups today? And it'll record that and drop you right to them. Is that what you were asking? Or?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so let's go find a client. Danny, I'm going to use Danny this time instead of Clowns R Us. So here's Danny Schufert. I'm going to go to log. Currently I have nothing in to Danny, okay? But I wanted to create a follow-up. So what I'll do is I'll say add a new log entry and say that we just did, let's say in person. And I'm going to actually back up the original date to the first, just so it's not going to be competing with the thing. And met Danny, okay? Yes, I do need a follow-up, and I'm going to put it for today's date, 7/17, and let's say that we're going to do it right at 12 o'clock noon, okay? And we'll just kind of put in some sort of note here. Okay, as soon as I hit this, because of that date, it'll automatically show up for my today's follow-ups, okay? Because that date falls within that range. So watch this. If I go home, and I have, here's my client logs. I can go grab all of them. This is the last 30 days of my client logs. So it grabbed Clowns R Us and Danny. Like, I can get to it from this area. Or, depending on if you have the correct spot, watch this. I'm going to come down to customers or clients, and I'm going to go to the client homepage. There's a link right here that says today's follow-ups. It's just going to bring up the one that I had to pull up for Danny. And we had to drill in deeper on that other interface that we were using earlier. Watch this one. If you're using the CRM interface, watch this button. Today's follow-ups.
Oh, so you already have
Okay, it depends. Okay, once again, there's thousands of pages. It kind of depends on what your needs are. We can get you there lots of different ways. Just depends on what you call interface, which is kind of that front-end piece that interacts with you and the client. Okay, perfect. That works. Okay, David, can I ask you a question? What do you do for clients all the time? Say somebody's doing something in Adilas and a credit card gets denied. What do you do?
Log them in.
Okay,
Log them to that client.
you do. Mm-hmm. You guys want to see some real live data for Adilas, how we use clients and customers? Watch this. I'm going to switch from out of the Denver playground to Adilas. Let me show you what we do. Okay, so I'm going to flip into Adilas, and I'm going to come here and say I wanted to actually grab client logs. Okay, here's
Ooh, can you go to the top one?
Anytime I get an email.
Okay.
Yeah, do that. This is
so watch this. Okay, this just for fun. Okay, so basically we'll look at all these client notes that we add into our system. okay? We add all sorts of different stuff, depending on what needs to be happened. We have flex grid pieces that are tied into this thing, all kinds of different pieces, but these actually allow us to do, we have a photo gallery that's for this particular person. This happens to be a medical marijuana industry for this particular customer, but basically they have a bunch of different little pieces, and so we just scanned a little piece in so that we could kind of know what they were doing. Looks like they currently owe us about $315. Like, this is real live data. If I clicked on history, I could even tell you when the last thing was done, okay? On 7/16, that was yesterday, somebody added a log entry, and it was David, okay? So
I usually get a lot of emails from customers. I would take and copy the email and put it to the log.
Yep.
I have a record of what's going on between us and the customer.
So watch this, just for fun. Let's go to a GPS auto tracking spot right here. If I go to the log on these guys right here, I just wanted to show you what we recorded for our logs here. Like, we record notes and notes and notes and notes and notes. This is how Adilas uses the CRM functionality, okay? Like, we push it to big levels. Okay, I've got Barry or Cheryl, you know, depending on if I'm talking to the owner or the accounting or what I'm doing. They currently owe me $0. But if I wanted to come in here, this is how we track our customers. Say I wanted to say, hey, what's their payment history? And I click on this. Whoa, they've paid me 86 times for a total of close to $9,000, okay? If I wanted to go back in time, looks like a lot of credit cards. These are under CC approvals. Like, this is how we track data, okay? But at any point in time, I've got notes out to the side of here. Whatever needs to happen, I can figure it out, okay? I'm not trying to expose any of their company information necessarily, but I wanted to show you this is really, really real. Like, I can go in here and be like, say I had somebody that I knew that owed me some money, okay? Say I wanted to go click right here under this guy right here. They owe me $500, okay? Say I wanted to actually apply a payment. Watch this. Say, apply payments to this. Okay, looks like they have 2 invoices that are outstanding, okay? How much do I want to do? Like, I can just apply this and like, this is how we deal with customers all the time, okay? We set up recurring invoices. These are all tied to customers, okay? So like, even right here, I'm currently on Charles Lahan Trailer World, okay? So if I hit back right here, and I actually wanted to see their reoccurring invoice, I click right here to their reoccurring, and it says, here's the last couple actions that we did for them, okay? And the next one is set on 8/15 to bill them for the next time, okay? If I wanted to click on their history, like, I have whatever information I want right here. Like, this is real live stuff. So if I wanted to come up here and I wanted to say, okay, let's say this trailer company, what have they paid me? Just for instance, okay? It's going to go and it's going to do a search, and these guys are going to be in the thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? They paid $36,000 to Adilas over how many times? 72 payments over, you know, like 387, whatever it is. Like
6 years.
Yeah, it's years and years and years, okay? But like, they just do lots and lots
Can
of.
you do, what do they call it, direct deposit or a direct bank withdrawal?
So ACH and EFT type stuff?
Well, I don't know what the letters are. But
Are you talking like for Adilas being able to pull a payment from somebody?
Sure.
Or, okay, the papers are sitting at my desk at home. Okay, right now we currently say you can pay check, or usually if we do check, we like it to go 3 months at a time because otherwise it's more processing.
Yeah.
We have to send it out. You can do reoccurring credit card, and we've got the papers on my desk right now to do ACH transactions.
So the reoccurring credit card, you guys have to do the swipe or whatever you have on file for them each month.
Okay, what we do is we basically go like this. We run their card one time. This is how I would run my business, okay? We run the card one time. What it does is it hits the gateway. The gateway stores that. We then go to the gateway and we say, okay, set this up as reoccurring, and I'm also going to set it up inside of Adilas. So Adilas never stores any of that credit card information, but boom, boom, it'll kind of keep going and going and going and going on the different pieces.
Gateway will make it recurring.
Mhm.
But you have to get permission from the cardholder or the business owner.
Correct, correct.
Well, that's the same thing as like a bank draw then, really. I mean.
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways that you can do it. Like, it's not Adilas that's actually making that thing go. What we do is we create the reoccurring invoice that basically creates a reminder. So David goes in there and says, on a daily basis, he'll go in there, what invoices do I have to run today? Type thing, okay? So like, just as a for instance, okay, I'm still literally in Adilas right now. He would come down to Adilas and go to reoccurring, okay? He clicks right here, and it's physically going to tell him what he's got for this current little week. Like, it probably shows him like a week long or whatever it might be. Looks like he's already ran a bunch of different little invoices. There's 8 invoices that he already ran on the 15th, which was a couple days ago. You know, whatever it might be, okay? So he's already done them and ran them, and they're already started their life cycle. So we're either collecting or he's applied payments to them or whatever it might be. Say I go to one called the Mixing Bowl, which is a kitchen needs store. This is they sell retail kitchen stuff, tons and tons of stuff. I could jump into their log, see where they're at. Oh, what do they owe us? They pay on a quarterly basis versus a monthly basis. So literally, you could come in here and like there's tons and tons of log notes and like this is how we track our customers. Okay, so I just wanted to jump into some real data for a minute instead of just kind of showing you like a little clown and a teeny little note. But
And you can also, like Santiago said, reverse your dates and how you
oh yeah,
sort it.
absolutely. So watch this just for a minute. Why don't we go like this? ADV under client. This is real live Adilas stuff. I do tons and tons of logos. Why don't we come down to the log notes right here? And I usually put them under a type called internal. So I'm going to search everything that's internal and everything that's in the log notes, and I'm going to put the word logo in it. And I'm going to, I don't have any dates. Go search that for me. Okay, like here's all the different little logos. These are internal notes to different companies that we've added logos and colors, logos and colors. Like whatever we needed to do, you could flip-flop this easy. So 715, 715, these are a couple that I kind of did just affordable tree care, you know, whatever it might be. If I wanted to refine my search and flip it, all I'd have to do is just say refine that search, flip it right here. Enter. Okay, did I, hang on a second.
You didn't change the
Okay, log date, oldest first.
group results?
Okay, yeah, let's undo that one. So McCorvey's Pro Shop, I entered one on 312, like, and it just depends on even when these log notes even came into play because they haven't existed forever and ever. Like, kind of depends on when we did different things. So anyway, it'll kind of give you an idea. Yeah.
So you can make payments reoccurring once you've got your
Oh, yeah.
initial.
All you need is a master invoice, okay? If you have a master, then what we do is we say, take the master and then push that master forward and prompt. So we can do that back in the play site if we want to, okay? I think we're getting close to lunchtime. I don't know if we've even talked to them about lunch today. Do you guys know?
They were excited about food before.
Yeah,
They were
okay.
checking to see how they're doing.
Can you go check on that? And what we'll do is we'll just kind of, does anybody else have any questions? We'll start right here, right after. Go ahead, Dan. Well, she's kind of checking on that.
Yeah, just one quick question. So one of the things that it was really important for me was to be able to access my contacts through iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when I'm driving. And so what I had been doing is just pushing them out using Excel and then importing it through Outlook. Is there any other way, or have you come up with any way to, how do you access your customers?
Well,
Through the phone or
it depends on the way the business is set up. And
They're
so,
ready whenever we are.
okay, great. Depends on how the business is set up. You're mobile, so you're kind of like, I want this stuff all the time, and I want it fed. Like, okay, tell me the scenario, and I kind of answer that because, like, literally, say you have a clinic or something like that, you're not going to be mobile at all. Your person's going to come in, check in, like you're physically there at the spot.
Yeah,
So,
I'm talking more from the CRM side of things. So I go out, I make, and I found a way around it. I just want to, I guess, verify, and maybe it's something just maybe you and I don't want to tie up everybody else's time, but so I would go out and see customers, update my clients in Adilas, and then in order to update my contacts on my phone,
okay,
I would have to go back and do an
Yeah.
export through Excel, and then take that export and bring it in through Outlook, which was then tied to my.
Okay, that's called syncing is basically what that's
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
But basically at this point, that might be a future project, but you're going to have to do it manually right now. We have way too many other
Yeah.
dragons we're trying to slay. So, but I would say that's manual.
But it does come up as a hot button when you pull it up
Oh yeah.
on the.
So if I go to like this, say go back to the mixing bowl or something like that, and I go to the log,
Phone number's hot.
mixing bowl, if I wanted to email them, I could click this right here and it literally would pull up my little, I'm hooked to Outlook Express, but it's ready to like, okay, cool, let's play. I'm going to send this to Lisa, or whatever. So,
Yeah, and the phones, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you pull that up on your iPhone,
mhm.
the phone number is actually a hot link.
Okay, great.
So,
Uh-huh.
but it's just a little hard for me to see it on this thing here.
Yeah, and that's basically what that comes back down to is imagine if you could do this, Dan. You've got all your cool information, but what if you were able to skin it so you're just in like, I need the mobile version of Atlas. I just want, like, when I get to the person's name, I see two things, their name and their phone number or their email address. Instead of showing all of this information like we show,
Right.
okay, the information's there, it's just a matter of skinning it, okay? So literally, if that was a requirement, we could literally do that in easy, an hour of custom code. You pay $100, I could make that for you. Data already exists. All we're doing is just skinning it.
Yeah.
Okay? Where we're headed is even allowing people to kind of help skin some of those things themselves. Like untapped potential. Like people are like, oh man, it doesn't do this and this. If you can collect the data and you have the data and you've centralized it, the actual visual representation of it, that's a piece of cake. But that's the biggest piece is can you collect it, can you store it, and is it central? And then we can skin it any way we want to. Okay, that's a piece of cake. Awesome. Any other questions before we break for lunch? That was great. We're kind of dipping into customers here a little bit and such. Cool. Let's go ahead and call it. We're at about, let's go back to about 1:15. We'll restart. That'll give us a whole hour for lunch, all righty?